Hello world. What you're looking at here is my brand new Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance. This is a 2022 model. They don't make these anymore. They made them in 2022 and 2023, and it is now almost towards the latter half of 2024, and I somehow was able to buy a brand new Lucid Air GTP. This is the model with 1050 horsepower, dual motor. It's the top of the line. It has all of the options, the 20-way massaging seats, the Dream Drive Pro, and the top of the line surround sound system that Lucid makes. This is one awesome car. It comes with the 21-inch wheels and the Pirelli P0 tires. This car is just, I guess, kind of sat in Lucid studios, showrooms, for like the last 2 years or so, and I somehow lucked out into buying it new. Very cool. I just got it back from PPF and tint done by Miras, a master PPF specialist at Master Protection Films in Laguna Hills, California. They're in Orange County. Miras does one of the most incredible jobs with PPF anywhere. If you're in Southern California, you have to make sure to check it out. This is not sponsored in any way. I paid full price for my full car PPF, and it was worth it, more than worth it, because Miras has done such a nice job. They don't pre-cut anything. Everything is completely hand done. Took many days for it to get to this point, but Miras is just a supreme PPF specialist. Definitely check them out. Master Protection Films in Laguna Hills. Okay, so I've actually owned this car for about a week or so now, and we're gonna go and cut to some footage of me at the Lucid studio picking up the car, and then also some footage of me spending the first few days, clips of it anyways, driving it and going to a Lucid prototype event in the Torrance Lucid studio. So that footage is coming up next over here. Before we get to that, just want to say, obviously, if you've been following some of my other videos, I'm going to put some supreme mileage on this car. I generally drive, a lot of miles every year. Don't need to say how much over here, but a lot of miles. And so this is definitely going to get a ton of mileage coming up over here in the next, few months to a year. We'll probably kind of just ease into it a little bit. The first, maybe a few weeks, I don't know, maybe the first few months, I won't do too many trips with this. We'll see. Just so that, I can make sure everything's sorted out before we take this thing on the road and get a lot of miles in. This is Lucid's Quantum Gray color. You can see it has the platinum trim, and so it's the two-tone color. Now, generally speaking, I was not the biggest fan of Lucid's two-tone color, and I'm sure it doesn't come up in the videos. If you're not a fan of two-tone, don't worry, I'm kind of with you there, generally speaking. But when you have it and see it in person, it looks pretty incredible. So that's all I can really say. I mean, it's personal preference either way. But yeah, it looks amazing. All right, let's go and take a look at some footage of me trying to film this thing the first couple of days after I took delivery. All right, we are here at Lucid Delivery and Service Center and Sales Center in Costa Mesa, California, taking delivery of my new Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance today. Which one of these is it going to be? I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon. Super cool. Shop is nice and clean. Looks really awesome. And it looks like they've got a couple of deliveries set up today. Super cool. There it is, my new Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance. Ariel here at Lucid Costa Mesa just pulled the covers off, and wow, does this look awesome. Quantum gray exterior color with the platinum trim and 21-inch Aero Sport wheels. The color combination looks way better here in person than it does in pictures. Okay, so for some color comparison, to the right of my new car is another Lucid Air. This is Cosmos Silver's color, which is also very cool looking. And a quick look around the Costa Mesa Delivery and Service Center here. It's so clean, so well lit, and so organized in here. Makes a car nut like me just want to live here. Alright, so the Cosmos Silver's color Lucid here to my right has their stealth package with the blacked out trim, including the dark wheels, which I think all looks very nice as well. So you can see the contrast between the stealth trim package to my right versus the platinum trim package that I have on my car. So the platinum trim comes with the platinum wheels, looks very good as well, but you can definitely see the contrast between my car and the car to my right. So I do see the brake rotors has some slight rusting on them, but that's normal for EV brakes because they don't get used very often with regen braking. And plus, this car has been sitting in Lucid storage somewhere, like I was saying, for the past 2 years. I can't wait to drive this thing. Let's get in it. And here you see a small P on the badge, and that's when you know it's the special performance version. Okay, let's go. Here we are, everybody. We are at the Lucid Service, Delivery, and Studio in Costa Mesa, California. I just got into the car. They pulled it out after the whole delivery process was completed. We've got 1,124 miles on the odometer. Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance. My first drive ever in this thing. And of course, I'm going to have to put it in sprint mode. So I've seen YouTube videos, and prior to the latest software update, you used to have to confirm after you set it to sprint setting, but now you no longer have to do that. I'm just going to be able to toggle back and forth between this. This is awesome. I guess the only thing that is still not great is, of course, it doesn't save that for you. I think every time you start the car, it's going to put me back on smooth, but that's okay. I'd rather have the ability to then switch it to sprint without having to confirm that than the way it used to be from what I've seen in the videos. But you know, first time for me to drive and own this car, and I don't have to deal with that, so I'm happy here. I feel like I've got my seats you know, adjusted to a certain way. Maybe not the best, so let's go ahead and change some of the little mirror settings over here. Seats seem fine. Just got to get used to the mirrors a little bit. Alright, we'll save this to profile. I'm finding the user interface to be very easy to navigate. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot of other things set up. Don't know how to use the radio on this stuff. We'll do the massaging things a little later. Now it's just about going on a drive for my very first drive on this thing. Okay, so now we're ready to head out. Seat belts are buckled. We have stalks. Let's go ahead and give this a ride. Regenerative braking temporarily reduced. Yes, because I'm pretty much near what, 96-95% charged or something like that. So let's get underway over here. My very first drive. Wow, I'm sitting very low in this car compared to the X Plaid that I have with air suspensions. Now, Lucids do not come with air suspensions. Okay, no scraping on that. That was a pretty low driveway there, no scraping. Wow, this thing is nice and smooth. Okay, getting underway over here. You know what I love? I can feel it. There is a ton of power in this thing. Wow, the throttle is very responsive, and it's tuned really well. I've always loved how Tesla has tuned their throttle response, and here in the sprint setting anyways, it seems really, really awesome. I love that I could see the indicators. Once I put the indicators on, I can see the blind spot camera triggered, so that is awesome. Probably would be good to adjust my steering wheel so I can see that a little better. Let's creep out a little bit. That is a turning lane. We're good. Gonna go here. I'm gonna have to get used to that. I'm now so used to looking at the central screen because that's where Tesla forces me to look. But now that I have this, I can drive like a normal person and look pretty much dead ahead. Gotta like this. Okay, I've heard about this, and this is my first real experience with driving this car. No volume, you know, no radio, nothing like that on. I do hear a little bit of motor whine from the... All right, everyone, as you can see, we've time shifted. So I was trying to use a brand new camera to film my first drive coming out of the Lucid Costa Mesa studio and delivery center, and it did not work out. My new camera shut down on its own, and it's just overheated. So that camera is busted. I seem to have an overheating issue with that. I'm gonna get that taken care of. In the meantime, it is now my, I guess technically this is like my third drive. So we are in about 60 miles with me into this ownership experience of this Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance. We'll go about 60 miles in now. Obviously it's nighttime, and so let's give you my first set of impressions after 60 miles or so. So we'll get going over here, and I'll start off by talking about the motor whine. Now, I've heard about this motor whine from other YouTube videos that I've been watching, following for the last 2 years or so. So I knew about this, and hearing it for the first time, or experiencing it, you know, as an owner for the first time, it's not bad. You definitely hear it, but I actually quite like the sound of this. Now, Teslas generally don't have much perceived motor whine. If it does, I can't hear it. Here, I definitely hear it. And just like I hear the motor whine in the Rivian Gen 1 that I had for a couple of days to drive a while back, that was about a year ago, there was definitely noticeable motor whine in the Rivian Gen 1s. It wasn't bad. I actually like the sound there as well. The Taycan also has motor whine, plus the artificial Taycan sport noises, which both, you know, sounded fine to me. And now this Lucid, also motor whine, which again sounds okay. I actually quite like it. I don't mind it, just because EVs are pretty silent. You know, it doesn't make up for the awesome engine noises in the really awesome ICE vehicles out there. But motor whine is present here, and I do like it, so you definitely notice that. What else? The regen braking, I now have regen braking set to the higher regen. So there's two settings with the Lucids at this point in time, and when I first got the car delivered, it was set to the lower of the two regen settings, and I felt that one was pretty good. It definitely, on the lower regen setting for the Lucid, it was noticeably more regen than the Taycan gives you. So you can set the Taycan all the way up to the highest regen setting in the Taycan, but it's still more coasting than regen. And as you've probably seen from my other Taycan videos, I actually quite like that. The Taycan on a higher regen setting felt pretty good to me, as a good compromise between a traditional ICE vehicle and an EV. You don't get the really strong regen braking that you get with Teslas in the Taycan. There's just no way to get anywhere near that, even at that higher end of the Taycan regen settings. But at least you'd have the ability in the Taycan to at least control somewhat, even though the higher of that regen setting isn't very good. Now here in the Lucid, the lower of the two regen settings here is still stronger than the Taycan. Nowhere as strong as the Tesla, but now I've set it to the higher of the regen settings here in the Lucid, and it does feel as good as the Tesla's regen does. So either way, I'm okay with either way. Generally speaking, I prefer a more milder regen experience, but that's just me. Your mileage may vary, as they say. So I love the fact that the Lucid has the 2-level adjustability in regen. So I'll drive it around here in the high regen for a little while, and then I can decide if I want to stay with this one or go to the lower of the regen settings here. But anyways, it feels pretty good. Right now we are on Sprint drive mode, and the car, whether it was on Sprint, Swift, or Smooth, and I've now tried out all 3 of these, it is phenomenal. This car is just, it's really awesome. Words are hard to describe the overall driving experience here. The car is, aside from the motor whine, the car is very, very quiet. Noticeably quieter than the Model X Plaid that I have. I would say on par with the quietness of the Taycan, but then the Taycan was optioned with dual pane glass, and or the, you know, the quiet acoustic comfort glass thing. And this, you know, the Lucid is just, this is just standard, I guess. It's just nice and quiet. The cabin is airy, it's roomy, it's really, really quiet, and the overall driving experience is phenomenal. Like I was saying earlier, I'm kind of at a loss for words for how good of a car this is on any of the drive modes. You definitely notice the difference in steering, suspension damping, and acceleration mapping as you switch between the drive modes. But even on Sprint, right now I have it on Sprint. This is the most hardcore of the settings that you can get right now, and it's comfortable. It's capable and very, very comfortable. Like it kind of doesn't really make any sense for its level of capability in driving dynamics combined with the comfort level of this. It soaks up bumps and unevenness and pavements, potholes. It handled all of that and never felt unsettled. Again, this is the most hardcore of the settings right now, and it just feels, it feels good. I have no problems leaving it in this mode. How's it compared to the Model X Plaid? I would say the dampening here is more comfortable, noticeably more comfortable than the X Plaid is on the sport setting, even though the firmer ride here seems like it's just so much better. Oh, we got this refresh Model S taking off a little bit at the light. I tried launch mode in this off camera a little earlier, and it spun tires, all four tires, all the way to 60 miles an hour. It's crazy fast. This thing is insane. The power is unbelievable. It is noticeably more powerful, faster accelerating than the X Plaid. And the X Plaid is a monster. That thing is a beast. It's really, really hard to believe how much more power this thing has, or just feeling wise. You know what I love? I love that it has these blind spot indicators built into the mirrors. It is awesome. Real features and functionality like that, you can't deny it. These are just features that you absolutely love to have in a vehicle costing as much as this thing does. Blind spot indicators, who would have thought? We got the Model S behind us. There's usually a lot of police, CHP out here, so we kind of probably can't really, don't want to get ourselves in trouble, but you know. This thing is a monster. Just shoves you back. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the footage. I don't even know how fast that was. That was how fast it was going when I hit the accelerator there. It just really just takes your breath away. I mean, the it's different. It's just different. The Plaid, it feels brutal. The acceleration does. This is smoother, but feels faster and just more powerful. It's, I don't know. Maybe it's, I'm feeling the lightness of this car, comparatively speaking, compared to the Plaid. Maybe that's why it feels that way, but it's very, very smooth. The acceleration is, but that was just insane how quickly that thing accelerated, or this thing accelerated. That's something else to talk about, just the general throttle mapping of this thing. I'm very impressed. You know, Tesla is known for its awesome throttle mapping, and rightfully so. No matter which Tesla model it is, the throttle mapping, they just do such a good job of tuning that in Teslas. And I feel that with the Lucid, it's right on par with what Tesla does. And it's just very impressive. There's not a lot of other EVs that I've driven that I could say the same about. I would say definitely Tesla and Lucid are tied in throttle mapping, and the Taycan is noticeably lagging behind here. So we're just turning off into here. I don't really have any particular place to go. I'm just making this video, and I'm just here just taking a look at the Electrify America situation over here. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. There seems to be folks charging, folks maybe waiting. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, we got chargers, people waiting. Typical Electrify America craziness. Just not good. I just want to scope it out. I actually haven't been to this EA station in quite some time. Last time I was here was with the Taycan, and who knows if it's gotten any better or not. I've been reading my local PlugShare EA reviews, and it doesn't seem like it's gotten all that much better in terms of station reliability, stall reliability, and things like that. But you know, now I have this Lucid. It's got free EA charging. I'm gonna be doing some EA charging on road trips. I love having these manual air vent adjustments and switches and buttons for climate control. I like it. Just nothing else to say about it. I love how a lot of the controls are on the touchscreen, but then there are some controls that are just physical, you know, like climate control. That is awesome. Audio controls are physical, or at least the volume button is physical. Really impressed by the UI as well. You know, I've seen all like I said earlier, all of the videos of the earlier Lucid experiences where the screens appear to be much less responsive than they are now. But I've not had any issues at all. I've been able to use navigation, you know, play some music, and just going through the UI, there's really not any lag. So I would say feature set wise, the adjustments are a little bit more limited than Tesla's user interface. You could do a little bit more right now with Tesla's user interface, generally speaking, but Tesla's user interface in the Model X Plaid isn't noticeably faster than this either. So whatever they're doing over there on the software department side, Lucid, they're doing a good job, you know, because this is far more responsive than the YouTube videos from 2 years ago in 2022. Obviously right now efficiency is pretty low. You can't see it on the screen here. It actually doesn't display it there, which I wish it did. Another thing, of course, is I wish it let me, just like my complaints about the Tesla, it doesn't allow me to put tire pressure setting on here. So Lucid, if you're watching, please give us the ability to adjust what is being displayed over here. All it does right now is it gives you the ability to adjust if you want to see trip info. So last charge, which is what I have it set to right now, trip A or trip B, and that's pretty much it. And then it'll tell you the drive mode that you're currently in. But other than that, I can't do any adjustments there. I can't do any adjustments here. I would love it if Lucid gave us the ability to fine-tune the information that we have on both the left and right panel over here. Because if they did, I would absolutely, I was saying this about the Tesla, I would absolutely put tire pressure, real-time monitoring on the screen. You know, right now you have real-time monitoring, but it's buried in this pilot panel to the bottom right over here. So it is buried a few menus inside. I like the overall clean interface that's here. You're not really overwhelmed by screens, but you're also not ever feeling like you're being underwhelmed by the lack of screen real estate. You know, it's pretty expansive, and so all of the combination of this side, the central, this side over here on the right, and the pilot panel down over here really gives you enough information, I feel like, you know, as a really driver's car. And that's the thing, you know, you're not being overwhelmed with like infotainment, I guess. So some people really love the super large Tesla screens. Of course, why wouldn't you? You know, it's a big screen, and it's easy to access, easy to use, gives you a lot of information. It's super high res in the Model X Plaid. I like it a lot, but you know, sometimes you do just notice that it's just a lot of screen, you know, and it's always kind of soaking up attention. Whereas here, it's more of it's geared towards being more of a driver's car. You know, I find myself looking more at the road and what I'm doing, you know, how I feel driving this car, than I am looking at screens. That's probably a good thing. So Dream Drive Pro is what this car came with, and that's the top of the line ADAS system for Lucid. I used it on the highway coming back from the Lucid Center, and it performed as I expected. Lane centering was excellent, lane keep assist, all of that stuff was really excellent, and it generally functioned like an ADAS system should on the freeways. So we're gonna go off over here in a few minutes onto the freeway so I can play around with that a little bit more. Here on the other side of the street, we see two Rivians, it looks like. Very cool. See those everywhere around here. Awesome. So many people are getting into EVs. This part of Southern California that I'm in right now is almost like the EV capital of the world. So many EVs here. There, any given night on a weeknight, I've been in my Plaid, I've been at a stoplight. The most I've ever seen was there were four of us, four Plaids, two X's, two S's, at the exact same stoplights, stacked up together, just that I can see. There likely could have been a few more behind us for all I know, but they are everywhere around here. Rivians, Plaids, Taycans, all of the Kias, the Hyundais, the weird Jelly Bean Mercedes looking things that are all over the place. I can't ever tell any of those things apart. The Mercedes, EQ, whatever's that I'm talking about here. And Lucids, you see a lot of Lucids as well. Such low center of gravity in this car. You sit so low, battery pack is heavy. The suspension set here to whatever it's set, full stiff on sprint mode. and the way the steering is set up, that just felt really direct in a lane change maneuver over there. It just felt really good. Car's just so responsive. You know, also a lot of it is owed down to these tires, of course, too. These are the 21-inch OEM Pirelli P0 tires. Also the same, I mean, obviously they're slightly different tires, but same brand, same model of tires that it's on the Taycan, also 21-inch wheels. Taycan tires lasted me about 25,000 miles, if I remember correctly. So we'll see how long this Lucid set lasts. Okay, let's go ahead and engage Dream Drive over here. Nice and responsive. Okay, let's get it going. Active. Highway assist. Let's bump up the speed here. 72. Hands off. It's going to nag at me in a little while, but you know, it's perfectly flat and capable right now. Here goes the nag. So we're going to go here. Speed 72. Hands on the wheel just in case. I am putting a little bit of steering input into it just to make sure that it stays, but obviously not enough steering input to kick me out of highway assist right now, so that's pretty impressive. I like that. It's doing its thing. Wow, okay, this is good, this is good. Changing lanes. There's a lane change. Okay, recentering. Matching speeds. I mean, we're doing good right now. We're doing really good. Okay, so it is wandering slightly. So I would say right now, I could feel that it wanders a little bit more than basic autopilot, enhanced autopilot, or FSD for Teslas do experience in terms of lane centering and lane keep. It's just been really rock solid in my Model X after 72,000 miles now of driving that thing. The X Plaid, it's just the best when it comes to ADAS. Forget, you know, all the craziness with FSD, right? That's its own separate conversation. But it's, yeah, this is good. But lane centering, lane keeping, I'm talking about specifically here. Dream Drive Pro, this is good, but it is not Tesla great. All right, we'll get off the freeway. Center signal for a lane change. It did. Perfect. Okay, so now we'll take that off. It didn't dismiss that on its own, which I did not find a setting in the user interface here to take off highway assist. Now we're getting off the freeway. I did not find a setting here so that warned me a little bit earlier than I would have expected. Well, I wasn't really close to hugging that lane, and it gave me that warning. So that was a little strange, a little different. But what I was saying was that I didn't see any settings in the user interface here that allowed me to turn on or off the auto cancel for lane change indicator. So I'm currently, or at least I appear to be currently, stuck with the default settings, which a couple of times I've already felt like, hey, you know, that should have auto canceled on its own, and it did. One thing I have to say about this is, one thing I was worried about, I would say, the phone charging experience. All of the YouTube reviews seem to suggest, or maybe a little, that's probably not putting it a little mildly, I guess, that the phone chargers doesn't really work here. And I've actually not had this problem. The built-in phone charger here has been just fine for me, but it also could be because I never use a case with my phone, so without a phone case, maybe the charging experience is just better. Anyways, you know, I just slide my phone into the slot where it's supposed to charge, and it just charges right up. I get good charging speed on the phone, and I don't have any issues with it again. But then again, I don't use a case. I thought maybe I have to order an aftermarket phone charger, but it doesn't look like I'm going to need to. I certainly had to with the Taycan. That thing, the charging, built-in charging, wireless charging in the Taycan, that thing is a mess. It's so bad, just horrible engineering on Porsche's end for that. You have to, no matter what, you absolutely have to get an aftermarket charging solution for the Taycan. Not so with the Tesla, and not so with this. Although I will say this: Tesla Model 3, which I've put 10,000 miles on a pre-Highland Model 3. Tesla Model 3's built-in charging pad is not as good, nowhere near as good as the Model X and presumably the Model S. I would say built-in wireless charging solution right now, it's a win. It's a win for the Lucid. The Tesla Model X for me comes in second, and I'm not even going to talk about the Taycan at all, because that thing just completely sucked. Okay, food is done. Camera keeps overheating still, but it is what it is. We'll make the best of it. Well, I guess we can go and check out EA to see if there's anything else out going on at Electrify America over here. What our charging experience is going to be like. Just making sure we can do it. If there's still people out here. There are still people out here. Both stations occupied. What about this one? This one looks to be free. Let's see what to do here. Plug in first. Okay, here we go. 350. This did not used to be a 350. I don't think. Let's go. Okay, our first experience in the Lucid charging. Oh yeah, this is definitely a new one. Cable connected. Charging error. Unplug and plug in again. Preparing to charge. Okay. Well, we didn't precondition or care about doing any of that. This is just a quick test. Looks like we're going. All right, here we go. We're already at a pretty high state of charge. I don't actually know what our state of charge is. $89 kilowatt charging power right now. It's not bad considering the high state of charge that we are, and we did not condition whatsoever. We only have it set to 80% here. It looks like, well, it says time remaining is 10 minutes. %66% state of charge, and we can see it on that screen over there. That's what we're seeing. Looks like it's pretty consistent in the power that's being delivered and by the charger there. Well, one quick charging error and then a plug and replug did the trick. I mean, for Electrify America, that was pretty good. We just pulled up, found an open spot, just dove right in, you know, and it just started working. So pretty good. Too bad we didn't arrive here at a lower state of charge and preconditioned. If I knew this stall obviously was going to be open, that would have been a good test to see the charging capability here. But we'll do that some other time, of course. Interesting how this is not counting down. It's still showing 10 minutes right here. Which would mean it would have been charging for 13 minutes, because according to that over there on the LED panel, we're showing that we've already been charging for 3 minutes. Okay, so yeah, that was a little weird. It just went from 10 minutes all the way down, just instantly dropped from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. You can see, you know, 5 and 5, that would have been that 10 minutes that it would have projected originally. But it was weird how the UI, you know, instead of counting down on a minute by minute basis, it just went from 10 to 5. I guess it only does any 5-minute increments, which would be a little weird. It clearly has the capability to do that, so I would expect Lucid to do a better job there of updating that in more real time rather than 5-minute increments. You know, I don't know. They must have made that decision somewhere along the line to do it that way, but not something I agree with. Okay, yeah, so while we charge, talk a little bit more about the interior here. You know, I know you can't see it, it's in the dark, but the materials are just awesome. They feel great. They're super comfortable and just high quality, you know, going from this textile material over to Alcantara, you know, over to leather. It's awesome. It really is, you know, and there's just leather everywhere. The car smells, you know, smells like $1 million, you know, just like a saddle shop or something like that. Really, really nice. You know, I like the soft LED lighting. It looks great if you ask me. Okay, so that's just a quick trip around here. We'll do more filming in the coming days, and especially at this upcoming Lucid event in Torrance that we'll be going to. So when you come back, that's probably where we'll be. See you soon. Okay, here we are in Torrance, California at a special Lucid Owners event. They have some special cars inside today, and there's going to be some prototype Lucid Airs that's going to be there, including the Gravity as well. As you can see, there's a parking lot full of Lucids, and what do we have here? We've got a couple of Sapphires. I count 1, 2, 3, and 4 Lucid Air Sapphires, owners cars. How awesome is this? Super cool.
right out front over here. This is amazing. Wow, look at these awesome machines. 1,234 horsepower, and that's probably just an underestimation of its true power.
Wow, here's the gravity. Here it is. Let's go check it out. Woo. Oh yeah, so cool. Oh wow, here we go. Pretty roomy, 3 rows. Still lots of storage behind here. It looks like the 3rd row folds down in here were not in use. That is cool. Always interesting to see prototype cars. Pre-production anyways, not prototypes. These are actually, the release candidates are in production. And here's another Sapphire indoors. Check it out. Oh yeah. Awesome. So cool. Well, when I get tired of the GT performance, maybe we'll look at a Sapphire. It's so expensive. Oh my goodness, look at that wing. So cool. Love the wheels. Love the brakes. The fenders. Awesome. So cool. And then what's this? Performance demonstration mule. Bespoke. Zoom out a little bit. Sorry. That's all right. Please touch with your eyes only. A giant duckbill spoiler on this one. Big old diffuser. Check that out. Real. Sweet Recaros. The Aero wheels. Awesome. Awesome. It is. All of these are.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Very bespoke.
I have a special place in my heart for race cars, you know?
Yeah, same here, I love these things.
Are you an owner yourself?
I have a GT Performance.
Oh, GT.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful. You
Yeah.
don't see too many of them anymore.
No, you don't. Yeah.
Well, and here we have a rolling half chassis. It's always really cool to see these types of things. You get a really good feel for what's underneath, in between your cars in areas that you don't generally see. Let's take a look here. What do we've got? We've got some battery packs, and the rear motor over here. You know, that's one of the most amazing things about Lucid is just the sheer compactness of the motors, both front motor and rear motors, and the inverters, the gears, differentials all built into the same unit. You know, you can really see the engineering that that Lucid really puts into their vehicles and their drivetrains. Obviously, the Lucid Tech Talk series here on YouTube is really, really awesome. If you haven't checked those out, make sure to go and check out Lucid's official page for that here on YouTube. It's a great series hosted by Peter and other engineers from Peter's team there. Wow, look at this. Suspension components, all of these things. This is so cool. Oh, this looks like it's the 21-inch wheels, just like my GTP. Wow, this is awesome. Yeah, you see the compact nature too of the battery packs. Wow, looks beautiful, really. Suspension dampers with the fluid reservoirs, a little thinner rear anti-roll bar over here compared to the one that we saw up front a few seconds back over here. Maybe we'll take a look around again and look at the front anti-roll bar again. But yeah, you see the crash structures built in here to dissipate energy in situations of crashes. Beautiful suspension components, and just how well engineered all of these things look. Beautiful. Tiny motors, I'm telling you. This is when I was at the Lucid Service Center in Costa Mesa, I saw a tech pick up one of the motors there just with one, well, you know, just by themselves without needing any kind of real assist device or anything like that. Here's the front anti-roll bar. Look how thick that is compared to the rear. Obviously, that is as designed. Beautiful, beautiful suspension components. And again, you know, you see this small motor front one over there. What else do we have over here? Looks to be another air here. What are we trying to see here? I think this one has the front exposed a little bit. Let's go and take a look at that real quick here. Yeah, this one is a little bit, you see a lot of the fluid exchange, radiators, you know, pumps, crash structures that we can see here, steering linkage, a bunch of different things here. It looks still, I mean, you know, obviously well packed in there, but very, very efficient.
It's surprising. One of the reasons I'm not a big fan on SUVs is that they don't handle very well. Gravity is a real sports car. You can really push. You'd be surprised.
Okay, so that was super cool. Peter ended up talking to us for about 30 minutes, talking about gravity, and then doing a long Q&A session on all things Lucid. The event is winding down now and doing some last minute photo ops, but the Lucid staff here says after this we can ask Peter to sign our cars if we want, so I'm definitely going to want that. Well, that was awesome. We're back in real time now. That was not a bad way to start my first few days as a Lucid owner, huh? Took delivery of my new car, drove around to get familiar with it, and then ended up going to an awesome Lucid event. Saw several cool Lucid prototypes and got to meet a bunch of awesome Lucid owners. Got to meet Peter and get my Frunk signed too. One of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my car-loving life was when Peter signed my Frunk, and then he saw that this was the performance version, and he ended up pulling me to the side and telling me about some of the very special features that are unique to the GTP trim, like special suspension tunings, special suspension bits, and other things that set the GTP trim apart from the standard Grand Touring Edition and even the Dream Edition and the Sapphire. So imagine a long-time car guy like me geeking out with the chief engineer of some of the most influential cars in automotive history, who now happens to be CTO and CEO of this amazing car company. Yeah, that was super fun. Now, actually, Peter's own personal car is a Grand Touring Performance, but in a different color. And he personally knows this particular car of mine, so I wonder if he spent time behind the wheel of this very car before I got it. I guess we'll never know. But regardless, this car is all mine now. And now it's tinted and PPF'd. And once again, thanks to Mirrors at Master Protection Films in Laguna Hills for doing such an amazing job with both the tint and the PPF. Thanks to Peter for being so gracious and kind. Thanks to Lucid Torrance for hosting such a great event. And thanks to Ariel and the team at Lucid Costa Mesa for a great purchasing, delivery, and ownership experience. Okay, this video has gone on long enough. I hope you'll be able to enjoy this, and I'll probably be able to squeeze this down to just under an hour. I don't know why I keep making these long, crazy videos, but like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just post them in the comments. I'll answer them there. Thank you all so very much for watching, and please subscribe.